What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and before we begin, if you're planning on buying any singles, feel free to use the link in the YouTube description here. It'll link you to TCGPlayer. It'll help me, and you can use it to buy singles you're already buying and support the channel, so I'd really appreciate that. That being said, let's go ahead and dive into the market watch today. We're going to be talking once again about just some future cards based off of the Hiyori card that was announced for the extra booster. We're going to talk about some of the current meta, and then we'll also talk about some of the promos that I have my eyes on. But first up, we have Denjiro. He's a 5 cost. However, there is a new Hiyori coming out that's a 4 cost that lets you play a 5 cost, so he fits perfectly there. And again, he lets you get 1 Dawn active, and since you're playing red green Odin, you could potentially have like Haruta or a Nami that'll give you this for free, allowing you to gain 2 extra Dawn to just really extend further. Also, you could play it in maybe not Denjiro, but the other card that we're looking at here, we'll talk about in just a sec, but just again, really affordable right now. Definitely worth picking up a playset at the very least. We've seen these OP01 rares. You saw it with Doflamingo. He hit $4 or $5. Definitely just worth picking up just in case, because you never know. But the other one is Yamato, and it works really well also with the Hiyori and Kinemon, because you can use Kinemon's effect, play Hiyori for 3 on your 3 Dawn turn, and then play out this Yamato and have a Yamato on your second turn. Also, just highlighting this Yamato, you know, green, been a little hyped, and this card's just overall a really strong card. Has counter, double attack, and banish. No other card has that, and it just got reprinted, and we're going to talk about the reprint, but this is still the most affordable version. Again, a lot of money kind of flowed out of these older sets. Romance Dawn is on the decline, but a lot of monies have flowed out of these into like OP05 and things like that, and so I think it's possible it could very well be a great time to pick these up, especially just on the speculation of Odin, because we've seen here card was $50, so at 34, maybe not a playset, but definitely worth having like at least 2 if you can afford it. Again, don't spend any money you don't have on cards, and if you do decide to go to buy one, definitely feel free to use that link in the YouTube description. Next we have up here is Charlotte Katakuri. As we all know, Enel won in California. My overall thoughts on that is I don't love it, just because all the big name players, I would say, a lot of them were playing in the 3v3. So I don't know how much I love those results, but as you can see here, it's gone up drastically. This one lesser than the regular one, but this one was sitting at about 90, 100. Now it's at 120. So if you have those, congrats. And then also the regular Katakuri. This is very expensive. I was already noticing it on the up, but then that win happened, and I was like, oh, because I was going to kind of wait to do one until after we've had like our first taste of the meta. SakaLucci dominated Europe though. So also take that with a grain of salt, and we'll talk about him here later as well. But yeah, $80, decent amount of sales yesterday. I saw people playing 3. The argument is like, you know, you need 4 just because you need to be able to restack that life. But yep, keep your eyes on that. Cracker also. So Cracker's pretty hyped because of Belo Betty. Belo Betty didn't have a showing at all in the top 32, to my understanding. Definitely not the top 16. Recently $15. You can kind of see it's slowly making his way up there, but he has that trigger, and then also double attack is crazy. But yeah, you kind of see this here, 15 holding strong. So if you have these in your binder, definitely consider moving them. 15 is kind of crazy, but fairly, I mean, double attack is very strong. And then of course we've got this Cracker. So I think this one, I mean, the cheapest is 45. I don't know if this is like slightly undervalued. I feel like it might be, just because it hasn't really gone up in the same way as this one has. Just in terms, because like if we look here, past few days, it was still like 40. It's been 40, so it's at 45, whereas he was like $8 and he's pretty much doubled. But the value between high rarity is always unique. And they all kind of move at their own pace. And so this could very well be appropriately priced, but just wanted to highlight this. If you like those max rarities, might be, because again, this one hasn't moved up a ton. And so whereas this cracker has, so this card could very well become like $5, but this one would hold more value over time potentially. So yeah, kind of like this. Especially if it was 40, I would like it more. 45 is just close to 50, and 50 just really turns me away from cards. But yeah. And then we're going to talk about kids. So this card was about 12, 13. There's been restocks. And so you kind of see that reflected as more stock came in, the values went down, and you kind of see that on the whole OP05 portfolio. It actually went down to like 7, but it's made its way back up because people just, I mean, this is now the most valuable SR in the set. So yeah, if you're looking to pick these up, might be the time. And then, of course, these are honestly super cheap. Rebecca was way up there. She was about 10. She was like the second. She was like 10, and Eustace was like 13. Now she's 5, and there's a number of them. I need one more. I might have to pick one of these up soon. And then, of course, Bobbert. Bobbert's also relatively affordable considering how busted this card is. We're going to talk about SakaLucci a little bit more here later and kind of just my theory on some of the absolute justice structure decks. But yeah, Bobbert, 250, really cheap. But now let's talk about these. Almost all the SPs have been bought out. Now, nobody's bought it at this 150 level, but people were buying it at 90. And this was a nice reprint of that 5.5 Yamato. It actually started around 60 and now it's worked its way up. I don't think this price holds. But it very well could be like a 100, 110. I could very well be the same value as the other secret. I don't like the other secret. That's my hottest take. A lot of people are like, the secret looks amazing. The alt. I'm like, no. I was like, I don't like it. That's just me. But yeah, and not even a ton listed here. Same thing with Uda. I also don't love this, but other people are. I was trying to get one of these to go see Ado and try to get it signed. That was my ambition and my dream. And so now it might just be my regular copy because it's sitting at, again at like 150. I wonder, is it the same seller, Digital Toaster? No, everybody just seems to be on the same page. These cards are expensive. But of course, as the set is relatively expensive sealed, it's got to find its value to be like worth opening. And so it really can drive up those the more expensive sealed product is. So that's something to keep your eye on. I would not pick this up at all. Card's not meta. Card in OP06 is not meta. Just looks really nice, and everybody loves Uda, so it's got that going for them. But yeah, 150. Same with Enel. Enel actually has sales at this level. Has 2 at that 140. Obviously, Enel leader being first does a lot and did a lot for the market. And to our knowledge, we don't have any more competitive events coming up, I don't think. So nothing really to help define that more. And so I could be wrong. There might be some in Europe, but I know there isn't any in English, and there might also be some in Latin America. But a ton of events happen this weekend. Prices are what they are. I also wouldn't touch this. You got that nice little whoop for free. But yeah, just something to keep your eyes on. If you have one of these, might be worth moving it, trying to move it at that. I would move it at that. It's almost a whole booster box. And then, of course, Enel Leader was down to about 70. I was seeing him sell consistently for 65 in the Facebook groups, but now we have him here at 90. A couple sales the other day at like 100, so 90, he's on the decline. Might be a time to pick one up if you're playing him. I don't know how. I don't think he stands up. Him and Luffy, I don't think they transfer over to OP06. I haven't seen them a ton, so I would be careful. That's why I haven't bought a purple Luffy alt, and I probably won't pick one up just because they fall off in OP06, and then their value theoretically should go down. So I don't want to touch those. But then let's talk about this. So purple Luffy is hype. We know that the Animal Kingdom structure decks are very expensive. They have Queen. Queen's like $35, $40. We'll talk about Queen. But I'm pretty sure that absolute structure deck in stores like LGS, your local game store, has never been restocked. Or no, Animal Kingdom has been restocked because my store had stock in like August. I'm pretty sure that they had another wave or 2 for the structure decks. Whereas Absolute Justice, I don't think this deck ever had a rewave outside of like the actual official stores. And so you have Hina, $10, and you've got Great Eruption, $20. Now, I don't know if more people are wanting to play Luffy which very well could be the case. But if you look at Queen at 35, and I believe I mentioned Great Eruption here at like 15. I think I mentioned this around like the 15 area. But I think that, like, if you think about Queen as $36, I think like these two are essentially your Queen, is the way that I'm seeing it. And these are also, some of these cards are going to be played in OP06. So these are going to carry over a whole nother format. And so without a restock, like an actual sufficient restock, we could very well see this. I think this card is actually cheaper in the UK too, in like Europe. I think this card is like $10. Somebody in my Twitch chat, if you don't already, check that out also. Link in the YouTube video description. But yeah, check that out. But we've got this Great Eruption. I think that these have room to go up because they essentially are like Queen, but like better and less. I think that there's more STO4 than there is these. I could be wrong on that. That's just complete speculation. But I think that these two still have a ways to go up just because SakaLucci is hyped. And these really, this moved a little bit. But nothing really moved from the Treasure Cup. And all the other cards from this set, Rebecca and Rob, that you play, are cheaper. Are very affordable. And so I think I would, if you plan on playing Perona or anything, I would look up the list. I don't know which ones of these you play. I think it's Great Eruption, but I would look heavily into these and possibly acquire those if you plan on playing Perona or Moria in OP06. Just because I think these still go up. Unless there's a restock. Obviously, a restock just changes everything, but there's been nothing hinting at such in the next 3 months between now and when that set comes out. And, of course, Queen being in Purple Luffy. Purple Luffy didn't have a crazy strong showing, so it makes me wonder what will happen here. Obviously, from what I was told, Enel only won because of life triggers, but you know that, I mean, life triggers are part of the game. But it could have been Purple Luffy. However, yeah, this is okay. I don't think this goes up more. Could be wrong, obviously. I think it was peaking at like 40 and slowly came back down. But like the One Piece pop-up shop, I think really helped all of these, truthfully. Because all I've seen is people selling those, selling everything that they picked up. And I think that just overall helped the market in general. But yeah, keep your eyes on Queen. But I really just showing Queen here just to compare to Great Eruption and Hina, just because I think that these are arguably, like, these two together make one Queen. But I think like they go beyond Queen. Queen, of course, will be a purple staple, though. And on the topic of this deck, one of the cards I wanted to highlight was Shockwave. So one of the things is, like, attention is the #1 asset. And so this Shockwave at one point was $10. What is it right now? It is $1. Now, granted, there's been a lot of really good cards. But at this price, at $1, $1.50, it might be worth picking some up because it was a $10 card, which to me in my head tells me it could be another $10 card. It could very well not be, but if you didn't buy the Absolute Justice structure decks, this is a solid card to own and like your staples, because like these, the Hina and the Eruption, those are all very expensive. But this, because this was the expensive card in the deck, this card was carrying the full value. Now it's other cards, so the attentions moved away based on the meta and based on usability. And so there could be something that potentially makes this card great again, or just an instance where like a deck that this card is really strong against. So just something to keep your eyes on. I plan on picking up a few of these. And then I kind of talked about these. These got reprinted. You know, the structure decks, these were hyped. They hit like $9-10. Got reprinted. Your locals have these as entry packs. Depending on what your locals charges, like mine charges $5. It's a pretty good value if you get any of these, and the card looks pretty cool. One of the things also is Luffy, but everybody bought the Luffy. I was going to talk about Luffy, but everyone has bought every single Luffy listed. This is the cheapest Rush Luffy. This is, I was like, I wouldn't pick up the structure deck one just because there is this, and it will be more affordable. They were $5. Honestly, it might hold that for a little bit as stock comes out, because as you can see, yeah. And it's a really good card. But as every other card that has been released, they all end up hitting like $1. So I imagine this could possibly be 3, but definitely something to keep your eyes up. If you need the rush Luffys, this is the go-to. I pulled one at my locals. I think the art looks pretty decent. They're all from the Treasure Cruise game, but yep. Yeah, no listings currently on there though. And then also this Luffy promo, he's on his way back down, but as Newgate comes back, I know people love Strawbeard. I don't know if Strawbeard's still good necessarily, or if you want to play this as your 2K. But if you do, it is about $6. There's a couple here. I think it's a solid pickup at around 5 if you can. Just to have, just because it is it was the first tournament pack promo. And sometimes those just go crazy just because there isn't any more stock. And there won't be. So just something to keep your eyes on if you don't already have for your playset. And then, again, on the promos, I think this is undervalued. And I might honestly just buy some of these really quick after this. Just because it's $6. So you at the One Piece Anniversary event, you get this Dawn or the Yamato Dawn. The Yamato Dawn is $25. Rightfully so. However, this card, same set, same pull rate. But it's $6. So this has all the room to move. This one just has all the attention. And I mean, I wanted Yamato Dawn too. But having a Dawn set of this, their 1-year anniversary Dawn, they're probably not going to be remade. Definitely worth picking up at $6. This is a pack. It's a pack. And so I like this. And then finally, I want to talk about this. It kind of got bought out and people have been buying it at $30. I don't love this price. As always, if you're going to shop TCGPlayer, use the link in my YouTube description. Help support me. Just by buying the singles you would already be buying would help me out a ton. And as always, if you found this content of value, if you could subscribe to the channel, almost 77% of my viewers are not subscribed. If you could just do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Thank you all so much for watching.